in fact, I'm going to say something I really hate to admit, okay? But
can we talk more in depth about herbs and spices and natural hygiene and just the argument for people that say that we should be having herbs and spices versus those that follow the more natural hygiene approach and say to completely avoid them because they're stimulants? I just want to better understand it because I want to try to design my life in a way going forward where I can still feel free to cook every once in a while, but not be relying on that on a regular basis.
it's like the tea. You can cook every day, just don't eat it.
Yeah.
Give it to people you don't like because it's toxic poison. It's actually harmful to the body. So
Even like basil? Basil's toxic?
yeah, I thought you were talking about cooked food.
Oh no, I don't want to cook food. I mean like cooking with herbs and spices, like with
You mean
raw.
preparing food?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So that's a different thing. Let's be clear. It's all relative, of course.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to say something I really hate to admit, okay? But it's entirely possible, likely, there are some gourmet raw foods that are more harmful to you than some cooked food. Having said that,
Why? Because it's such high fat?
because it's high fat, because it contains all kinds of things that aren't really food for our bodies and might be harmful to us, for a lot of different reasons, perhaps. But having said that, I think it would be, first of all, it's the biggest problem with cooked food, which is not where you were going, but I misunderstood your question. The biggest problem with cooked food is that almost all cooked foods are highly addictive. Highly addictive. And I think we've already addressed this before with you guys that have been here for a while. We ask people, right? And what happens is most people that are all raw for some period of time and then try cooked food have a very difficult time stopping. And so one of the reasons, I honestly believe that if you get yourself to really high level of health and vitality and you want to occasionally eat some cooked food, you can probably do that without creating any significant harm to yourself. Harm? Yeah. Okay. But how much different that is than the obstruction, the issues that I create when I go eat gourmet raw food a few times a year, it may not be that different. The problem is that, for myself, it's really easy for me to eat gourmet raw food today and not eat it tomorrow. In fact, I typically don't want it the next day after I eat it once. Whereas with cooked food, most people find that it's difficult to stop.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem, it's like, I don't think many of us, knowing how addictive heroin is, are gonna say, I'm just gonna play with heroin a little bit. I've heard it's kind of fun, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Yeah, I'm not willing to get hooked on something that's gonna destroy me. So I'm not ever gonna try it, right? That's my guarantee. And I think for most people, cooked food is similar in that it's so highly addictive. In fact, it was published a couple of years ago that cheese was more addictive than heroin. Okay, and and yet people are, just a little bit won't hurt me. Yeah, it does. It's, I think I may have mentioned to some of you already, the message I got from a woman a couple of years ago who wrote and said, she was interested in coming to fasting. By the way, at the end she said, by the way, I was 100% raw for 3 years and I felt amazing. And then one day I thought I would try some rice and beans. That was 5 years ago and I've never been able to stop eating cooked food. Yeah, and her health and vitality went downhill because that's what happens. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're interested in more information about fasting in general, we've got a playlist there. If you're interested in fasting for specific conditions, you can check out that list. If you want to hear what people's experience was in their own words, we've got a group there, and then we've got another one which is all about optimal diet and how to maximize your health.